here, and then I think I actually have to come back here and tell. Oh, there's food at 7. That's happening too.
I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, it's got a fancy one.
Good evening.
Evening.
So you don't normally get to have a beer before you do a wedding, so this is cool already. Usually that comes after, and this is this is the best venue I've ever been in to do this kind of a thing. As Brad said, tonight is a night of celebration, and it's celebrating two things that maybe, if we're honest, we can say are lost arts. One's marriage, right? It seems to be a bit of a lost art in our day, and the other one is friendship. I heard somebody say this the other day, and it kind of stuck with me, that we're a generation of people that are more connected and loosely affiliated with many things, but deeply committed to very few. We have redefined the word, well, we didn't, but somebody did, Facebook did, redefined the word friends to mean people that you are loosely connected through pictures and sort of stories of life. But as all of you know, true friends are hard to come by. And not only is this evening sort of a celebration of two people who have become friends and journeyed for 25 years in that, but it's a testimony, I was thinking, both to them. I said to Brad today, I said, you collect friends, you don't seem to lose any. Like as we've been meeting people over the last little while, it's like, oh, I've known them for 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. And even back when Brad got married when he was 13, as you can see in that photo, he just keeps collecting friends and don't lose them. But it's also a testimony to you that you have used planes, trains, and automobiles to come here and to know that this is an important night. You can't say yes to everything in life, but you said yes to this. And so it's a testimony to the kind of people you are and that you know what true friendship is and how to value it. But I was thinking about how, my son, he's 14, our oldest is 14, he's going to be driving in a little while. Part of me wants that to come quickly so I don't have to do it. Part of me is scared to hand over things that cost thousands of dollars to teenagers that have gas, and that can go. So we were in the parking lot the other day. I said, hey, just get in, start driving around. And I thought, man, you get more instruction and you have to pass more tests to drive a car than you do to get married. I mean, any of you that have one of those fancy espresso machines, that comes with a thicker booklet than you got with your spouse when you got married. But it's ironic, right? It's something that in many ways lots of people do and grow up thinking they're going to do. And everybody's supposed to know how to do it, and yet nobody seems to know how to do it. It's fraught with peril. It's one of those things that they say, and many of you are entrepreneurs, and Brad and Matt and Jeff are doing. If investors, somebody said, hey, I got this great thing you invested in. It could be really good, but the failure rate's over 60%, and it'll cost you everything you have. You want in? Most people would say, well, give me a lot of years to think about it. But we seem to be living in a time where there's kind of a marriage pandemic going on. And it's causing many people, I think in my kids' generation, a little bit older, and to say, well, I don't know if we want to do this thing. Why would we do that? It's risky, highly risky. Does it make sense? Oh, it's an institution or it's tradition. It's associated with my parents or my parents' parents' generation. I don't really follow tradition. It's just sort of something people do. It's cultural, so I don't really have a value to it. And I understand. If that's all it is, if it's just an institution, if it's just a tradition, if it's just something you do, and yet it's fraught with peril and has a high failure rate, I wouldn't do it either. It's interesting, the scriptures, which I kind of tend to value as a minister, that I think in many ways, though thousands and thousands of years old, is way ahead of its time, describes marriage as something entirely different than an institution or a tradition or just something of a cultural norm. It actually uses the word mystery. Like it's a mystery how two people could ever live together and stay together, right? It's a mystery. It's actually where the word sacred or sacrament comes from. Maybe some of you with religious backgrounds are familiar with that word. The word sacrament means mystery. And in some traditions, marriage is called a sacrament. It's a mystery. It's amazing to me that in a book that is supposedly about religion, which I don't think it is actually, and we can have a few drinks and talk about that after, that at the opening pages, by chapter 3, you see a man and a woman naked looking at each other going, this is good. In a sense that the writers of Scripture, the opening pages of Scripture are about a man and a woman coming together. And it tells me this, there's something mysterious about human beings and our craving for intimacy, for relationship. You know, there's lots of trees that have been cut down so the books can be written about how the world started. And the fact is, nobody was there. Okay, so nobody really knows. And there's arguments about, atoms crashing and how did this come together, and was there really a man and a woman and a snake? And you know what the scriptures are actually saying at the beginning? That the whole world is built on what you and I know makes the world go round, is relationship. We come out of the womb screaming for love. And marriage, even in a day and age where we find it so difficult, and any of you that are married or been married, you know how difficult it is, still we cannot help be drawn towards it. It's somehow a mysterious picture of human intimacy. It's a picture of what human beings long for, and we can't get away from it. And that's, I think, what is so mysterious about it is how do two people, and we know actually, psychologists know now what the scriptures actually knew for a long time before, that human beings in a marriage relationship, it is the uniting of body, mind, soul, and spirit. That sex isn't just sex, it's the mingling of souls. That two people somehow coming together and becoming one is a mystery. How does that actually work? That somehow you're still individuals, you're still who you are when you first got married, and yet, as Brad and Kelly could attest to, you are radically different than when you first came together. That somehow each of you has so changed the other person, and together you have become something entirely new. That is a mystery. It's not just a mystery, though, about explaining sort of human intimacy. Marriage has this other purpose that people like me really want people to know at a wedding. It's actually a picture of another relationship. Like when you see a marriage that you can say for 25 years, and they could be the first people to tell you, hey, neither of us are perfect. Nobody is. But when you see the fact that two people have continued to journey together through ups and downs and thick and thin and richer and poor and all the stuff that we say in the vows, it's actually pointing to something deeper than just themselves. In a marriage ceremony, right, the two words of marriage are, any of you were married, you said it. What did you say? I do. I do. Which are crazy things to say. We live in a culture that the two words of our culture is not I do, but if you. If you is the language of contracts, right? And you have an if you relationship with your insurance provider. You have an if you relationship with the gas and water, right? If you do these things, some of you have if you relationships with your employer. If you do these things, then I will do. That's how a contract works. And if you break your side of the contract, hey, I can break mine. And there's lots of reasons why contracts are good things to have, especially with your cell phone provider, right? Those are good things. But somehow we've imported if you language into an I do relationship. If you do these things, if you stay looking the way you looked when I said I do to you, if you keep doing this, if you keep making me happy, if you keep being the source of then I will do these things. But a marriage doesn't work that way. A marriage actually works only on I do. And an I do relationship is not a contract, it's a covenant. It says no matter what you do, I do. No matter what you do, right? And we say that. We say crazy things. Those of you got married, you said crazy stuff that day. In sickness and in health. And you said no matter what, that's what the vows do, right? No matter what, I will. No matter what you do, I do. Now that is very scary, right? That's like saying, hey, so the other person doesn't have to do, and I still have to do? Yeah, that's kind of what I do means. It's scary. But the reason we can actually even say it, I believe it actually points us to a higher relationship than just our spouse, who is an imperfect human being just like we are, to tell us that God himself actually has made an I do relationship with us. That God has said to us, no matter what you do, I do. No matter what, I know everything about you. I know you can't keep loving me faithfully, but I cannot stop loving you faithfully. No matter what you do, I do. One of Jesus' followers said it this way, this is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us, and he gave up his life for us. The cross, right, which is sort of the enduring symbol of Christianity, is also the enduring symbol of humility and self-sacrifice. And Jesus himself on the cross said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing, but I am still loving them in this moment. And I don't know about you, and wherever you are in your faith journey, everybody's on a journey. No one's arrived. But I know for me, as I said I do a little over 17 years ago, the one thing that has allowed me to continue to say that, and if we compare notes, I'm the one who's failed more on the I do side. Okay, I'm just confessing up front, right? That there is someone who has said that he loves me more than life itself, no matter what I do. And that love actually doesn't make me go, oh, good, well, then I can do whatever I want. Actually, no, in the context of an I do relationship, it makes you want to live up to who the other person thinks you are. It makes you want to be more of the person that somehow my wife deludedly thinks I am. That I want to live up to the vow that someone else has said to you, no matter what you do, I do. It doesn't make me want to cut corners. It makes me want to become that person. And that's why I do is so important. And so Kelly and Brad, I want to thank you just for being symbols of an I do relationship. And I don't know you guys like you guys know each other. So there isn't two people in the room who know more about what it means to say I do to each other in that relationship than the two of you. Some things you might be willing to share in public, other things no one else will know. But you have said that, and the fact that you're here today is actually a blessing to all of us because we just need to see it. We need to see people who, through thick and thin and imperfect lives and all of that, are continuing to say I do to each other. So I want to thank you for that. And then what I want to do now is invite you guys to come up because I have just a little bit of a charge for you. Now the rest of you can tune out if you want, but if you are married, maybe this is a good reminder of what it is you said yes to, or if you're thinking about it or thinking about it again, maybe this is just a good reminder to you. So you guys want to come up. So I like to, if you want to stand, where are we standing? We're standing in this here? Not yet. You will. Right after this. Is that okay? So I like to do audience participation just so I know no one's sleeping. Happens from time to time in my church. We meet in a movie theater. The seats are very comfortable. Yeah, guys, come on up.
No, it's coming.
Yeah, well, you're attending this, right? You're witnessing this? Yeah. So I'm going to give these guys a little bit of a charge. Maybe you can stand here and you can face me because I'm going to charge you with what you have to do now for another 25 years, okay? So here's what we're going to do, and the charge is in two parts, and so I want you to yell it out so they don't forget, okay? And this is what the purpose of your marriage is and is meant to be for the next 25 years, okay? And on the count of three, I want you to say, to be changed, okay? 1, 2, 3. To be changed. That was not loud enough. 1, 2, 3.
To be changed.
Okay, to be changed. The purpose of marriage is to be changed. Now, we all know it's bad advice to go into marriage thinking the other person's going to change. It's even worse to think, I can change them. I know that, right? We all do it. Oh, there's that part of them, but I'm sure I can change them, right? It's bad advice. Except that we all need to be changed. If we're the same people that we were 25 years ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, that's not good because the world needs us to become more and more of the people deep down we know we were meant to be, right? We know there's more in us than who we are, and so we actually want to be changed. But maybe the most depressing thing for us is to realize, I don't know how to do it. Well, you know what? Marriage is one of those gifts that God gives you to actually change you, to become more of the person you're meant to be. Now, even though, Brad, you can't go in, and you didn't go into this relationship, I know you didn't, going in thinking, I'm going to change Kelly, and Kelly, you didn't go into this thinking, I'm going to change Brad, and yet God, in his mystery of this marriage, uses you to change each other. And here's how this works. Anyone who says they never like change or like learning is a liar because it's painful. When you see in your spouse a face that shows you screwed up, it's sending a message to you saying you need to change. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that. I'd prefer to go, just ignore that. Some people go, you know what, I don't like that, I'm going to move on from that. A wise person once said, your marriage, your spouse is actually a mirror, and they reflect back to you in your rawest form. And it's very scary to go, wait, but here's the reason you could be willing to change, is because on the other side is that person that has said to you, no matter what you do, I'm still here. Right? And so it's a love that says, I love you exactly as you are, but I love you too much to leave you as you are. And so be open to giving each other feedback in the most gracious and humble ways. And no, wait, God has actually brought this person in, because no one gets closer to me than this person. No one gets to see me and all of the ugliness of who I can manage all my impressions out there. But in home, in the marriage bed, in the kitchen, the next morning, the next day, after that fight, after I said that thing that I wish I could get back, I have an opportunity for that person to say, you know what, I forgive you. But you need to work on that. And so don't shy away, because 25 years, God has changed you, but there's so much more left. And there's so much more to be changed in you. But at least at this point, you guys can say, Kelly and I were joking about how saying your vows 25 years ago compared to today, I mean, how much more do you know? And to be able to say them again today and say, yeah, but the best is yet to come. I like who I am now more. I can say this, I like the version of me that's married to my wife way better than before I met her. I have become a better man because of her. And I know each of you can say that. And so there's more. And so just remember, oh yeah, the purpose of this relationship is to be changed. But the second thing, and you got to yell this one out too, on the count of 3, is to be a change. Can you say that on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
To be a change.
Okay, so in a few moments, you're going to turn and face each other. Kelly's going to start crying. You can cry too. That's why we all came. We all came to see that. And we're in this thing, and people are going to take pictures, and you're going to look at each other, right? And this is that moment that people love at weddings and all of that. And you need face-to-face time in your relationship. You do. You need nights where you're out together, where there's nothing competing for your attention, where you're looking at each other. But most of life is not lived face-to-face. It's lived side by side. Side by side, looking out at a world that needs change. Our world needs more love than it has. We live in such an angry, fragmented, conflicted world. You just read the stuff that below YouTube or whatever on social media. Man, people are mad at all kinds of stuff. And they need, more than anything else, education is good, healthcare is good, all of literacy is good. But without love, the world cannot reach its potential. People cannot be what they are meant to be in workplaces, in marriages, in families, in schools, everywhere. And so Abraham Lincoln, it was who said, the strength of a nation lies in the homes of its people. We sometimes think, oh, what can I do to make a difference in the world? You make it one household, one family at a time. And so God has brought you together not just for each other's happiness and not just to change you, but to change the world around you. And so you have a mission in life. And my experience is that it's the mission that actually makes marriage most fulfilling. There's only so much face-to-face time you can do. You need time side by side where you are looking out at a world that needs what you have, that needs Brad and Kelly together. And you have a sphere of influence around you. You may not think it's big. You may not know how big it'll get or how small it'll get, but every one of us has a sphere of influence around us. And so don't forget, the other reason you've been brought together is to be a change. So when you have people in your home, it's them getting to experience, what does it mean when two people love and respect each other and care about each other enough? That when the things that God has brought you together, you're entrepreneurs, you're in this together, you have been working together a lot longer than many couples ever get to do. And that's hard, but it's also an incredible blessing because the people that come into your sphere of influence from your work, they also need more than just a job. They need people who love them and care for them. And in my experience, that is one of the greatest blessings in marriage, is being able to do something significant together. It is a mission that makes a marriage, not just sort of happiness and face-to-face time. So will you accept that charge?
I do.
All right. Now it's time for the vows. Who's going first?
Should we flip?
No, I'll go first. I had to write them down. So, Brad, it seems like yesterday that I pledged my love and commitment to you. I promised to love you, to honor you, to comfort and keep you. I pledged to be by your side in sickness and in health, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, for the rest of our lives. We have experienced all of those things in the last 25 years. And you've been by my side as we've created a family, a home, and a life together. In all the crazy adventures we've had and all the things that we've done, the very best thing that has come from the two of us together is our kids and our family that we've created. I'm so very grateful for you and proud of the man, the father, and husband that you are. You make me a better person, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter of our life and all that it holds together. So today, in the presence of God, our kids, our family, and our friends, I renew the vows that I made to you 25 years ago, and I pledge my eternal love to you forever and for always.
I use Evernote. I'm sure you're surprised.
I think our inspiration was from similar sources. It's so funny. I did not hear these ahead of time. So, Kelly, 25 years ago, before God, friends, and family, I pledged my love and commitment to you. It seems like only yesterday. I promise to love you, honor you, comfort you, and keep you. I pledge to be by your side in sickness and in health, in times of want, in times of plenty, for better, for worse, for the rest of our lives. We were just kids, and now that I see that picture, I know it's true. And as I reflect back, I know that I fully did not comprehend the meaning of those words. I know that there have been many times that I have fallen down and failed. There have been periods where our marriage seemed hard, and I questioned whether we had made hasty and foolish decisions. And I did cry in my original wedding too, so this is get used to this. We have weathered some difficult storms. There have been many adversities that could have torn us apart. But through all that, the one thing that's been consistent has been you. You have been the bigger person. You've been the person who stood by my side, and you've always been faithful and always been supportive. I'm thankful for the challenges that we've been through. I'm thankful for what they've made of us. They're part of our story, and they have galvanized our marriage, building resolve and a belief that together we are better, that together anything is possible. Today, at the beginning of our 26th year, as a husband and wife, in the presence of God and of friends and family, I renew my vows to you to be your side in sickness and health, in times of want and times of plenty, for better, for worse, pledging my eternal love for you. I love that we're doing life together. I'm so grateful that God brought you into my life. I truly believe that while the past has refined us, the future is yet to define us. I'm committed to you, our future, and building a beautiful life together.
Thank you, guys. Something else we don't normally get to do at a wedding is have the kids speak and encourage and challenge the parents. And so, Meg and Brett, you guys are going to have a chance to do that now.
So, I guess 25 years ago, you guys pledged your vows to one another, and obviously we were not present, but we're very happy to be present for this one. And one thing that's really important to us is that you two have committed to one another, but we want to make a commitment to you two and just to our family. So, not everybody knows, but things for us Pedersens have changed over the past couple months, and your lives are here now and our lives are still across the country. So different scape of things, and it's funny because normally the kids are the ones that leave the nest first, but but in this case, you two spread your wings and this is where you've landed, and to us this is the most perfect place that you could have continued your journey. And so our commitment to you and our vow to you is that regardless of this country between us, we love you. And we just want to keep our family as tight-knit and that connection going. And we're so happy for you, and we just love you so much. So.
Well, you might get some emotion out of me. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, when I think about where life has taken you guys, knowing your story, just 25 years and all that, and just the ups and downs, and where you guys have come to where you are now, starting in Red Deer, Alberta, for at least my chapter anyway, and all the way to Mississauga for however many years, and now you finally arrived here. And Earl Nightingale once said that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And Kelowna has been in your hearts for a long time, and it's been the ultimate ideal for you guys. And it's certainly a worthy one now that I stand here on the rooftop and look around, feel the beautiful, crisp mountain air and the beautiful sunshine with all friends and family. It's really a cool thing. And to see you guys give your vows to each other is really a privilege and a blessing for me. And just some words on just how we feel about you guys. Just, our mom is one of the sweetest, tenderest, and kindest women that I know. And, she's also feisty, fiery, and not a pushover, and maybe a little spicy sometimes. But you know, we value all of those qualities, especially the spice, because you know you taught us not to be pushovers, and you're ready at an instant, at the drop of a dime, to have a phone call, give some encouraging words, and just really bless us. So thank you so much, Mom. And for those of you who know my dad, you might know him as the man who can't sit still ever. He's very, but if you also know my dad, you know he's one of the hardest working and most honorable men that God's put on this planet. And it's been a real privilege to watch your growth these past few years. You know, all those times we're driving to tournaments, you and me, just when we go mountain biking together. It's just, I've shared many incredible moments with you, and you've been a great role model for me and Megan. And honestly, it's really an amazing thing to see someone have a dream and like reach that goal, reach that dream, and just live that dream. And so I hope that me and Megan in our lives can realize similar ideals. And so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for throwing this party and for allowing us to be part of this. And we love you very much, and God bless you guys.
Very good.